Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 4. In this video, my friends and I will present a journal entitled Component Analysis of Verbs of 5 Sense, made by Astriani Swarastuti. Before getting into the presentation, I will introduce our group member first. The first is myself, Muhammad Afdal Friansa Kamaru. The second is Fadla Gobel, and the last is Tisni Raji. Well, let's go straight to the first discussion, namely the introduction. Introduction. This article is from the journal Lingua Cendekia, volume 18, number 1, Juni 2022, P stripe ISSN 0216 stripe 9398 with the title Componential Analysis of Verbs of 5 Sense by Astriani Swarastuti. In order to avoid mistakes that the English language learners do in selecting the appropriate verbs of 5 sense, the writer does this research entitled Componential Analysis of Verbs of 5 sense. The analysis can ease the students to understand the meaning of words. However, it is not easy to make a list with complete semantic features. Next, the research objectives of this article. The meaning components of an English word are not always exactly the same as its Indonesian translation. It also happens to English synonymous words whose meaning components are not always exactly the same. That is why this research needs to be done to uncover the different meaning components of synonymous words. The objective of this study was to find out the semantic components of verbs of sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch sense. Alright, the research methodology of this article. The method of this study is descriptive qualitative research based on a library study. In this study, the writer described the semantic components of verbs of 5 sense without giving any treatments to anybody or to anything, so that the writer used the descriptive qualitative method. The data for this analysis were verbs of 5 sense taken from thesaurus and consulted them to 3 dictionaries. They were Oxford, Longman, and Merriam-Webster online dictionaries. The data of this study were obtained from the documents or literatures that were related to the research. The data were taken from relevant books, dictionaries, and thesaurus. Well, the next material will be presented by Fadla Gobel.
The key terms that had to be operationally defined were componential analysis and verbs of 5 sense. Componential analysis refers to the analysis of the meaning prosperities of the words under the investigation. Verbs of 5 sense refer to the verbs that are related to the 5 sense: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. In analyzing the data, some relevant steps are deliberated as follows. 1. Finding the verbs of 5 sense by using thesaurus. 2. Describing and classifying the verbs related to 5 sense by consulting 3 English dictionaries. And 3. Making the semantic features of each verb related to the 5 sense. 4. Giving the marker plus to signalize that the word presents the feature, and marker minus used to signalize that the word does not present the feature. And 5 is describing the semantics components of verbs of 5 sense investigated, and 6 concluding the findings. Farina states that there are 3 procedures to find out the meaning components of words. The steps are specified as follows. First one is choose some word that we assume that they have semantically relation. Second, find out the analogies among the words. And third, categorize semantic components or semantic decomposition based on the analogies that are related before. The similarity of the synonyms word is not 100% similar because the similarities are not absolute. Furthermore, the two words are similar in not all components of meanings but only some components of meaning. There must be at least one or more different components of meaning. Next one is finding and results of the research. For the first step, the writer found out that the investigated verbs of 5 sense. The second step was to find out the semantic features of each verb. Then the writer gave plus sign for appropriate feature and minus sign for inappropriate one, and plus minus sign for the verb has no clear distinction. The findings of this procedure include the following discussion. First one is semantic components of verbs of sight sense, semantic components of verbs of hearing sense, semantic components of verbs of smell sense, and semantic component of verbs of taste sense, and last is semantic component of verbs of touch sense.
From the analysis, it was found different numbers of semantic components or features for every verb in one sense. It means that every verb in each sense has different semantic components even though they have the same meaning. Notice that through componential analysis, it showed that every verb in one sense has similar meaning. They have the central component called common component and can be differentiated to the agnostic component of the word. It is proved that the semantic component make the verb different one another. Furthermore, Jackson stated that componential analysis has a full part in contributing to the description of meaning of words. Some contributions that made by componential analysis are to understand synonym, to establish degrees of synonym, to understand antonym, to understand the sense relations of hyponymy, and to help translators to produce accurate translation. In other words, the componential analysis is very useful for writing skills. Conclusion. It is concluded that verbs of sight sense have common semantic component to look and there are 33 diagnostic components. They are noted as follows: naturally, intentionally, quickly, for a short time, for a long time, for a longer period of time. The verbs of hearing sense have common semantic component to perceive the sound, and there are 7 diagnostic components that are noted as follows: perceiving sound, being naturally or coming automatically, hearing by sense or unintentionally, hearing with the word or intentionally, getting or knowing something or information, hearing without speaker's intention. The verbs of smell sense have common semantic component to the detected odor, and there are 9 diagnostic components. They are noted as follows: the first, being natural or coming automatically; the second, need a verb; the 3, having pleasant odor; the 4, having a pleasant odor; the 5, having very bad odor; the 6, in a short breath. The verbs of tasty sense have common semantic component, the texting, flavor, and there are 7 diagnostic components. There are as follows: the first, taking liquid; the second, taking food; the 3, usually repeatedly; the 4, seizing with teeth; and the last one, putting small amount of food. The verbs of touch sense have common semantic component, physical contact, and there are 18 diagnostic components. They are as follows: the first, once; the second, repeatedly; the 3, using hand; the 4, using finger; the 5, hands moving; the 6, quickly; the 7, slowly; the 8, giving comfort or showing affection; the 9, having physical contact with someone; and the last one, making contact with your own body.